I don't know if my wife is cheating on me or if I'm just paranoid. Like the title says, I think my wife is cheating on me. It started with our sex life. We used to have sex about twice a week. But for the past 6 months we do it twice a month at most, and I'm the one that's been instigating it. I didn't think much of it because she was fired from her job 8 months ago and has been staying home since. So I thought maybe she's just depressed or just not in the mood. But a month ago my coworker called me and asked why I didn't tell him I bought an M3. I was confused and he explained he saw a green M3 parked in our drive. I asked my wife about it and she said it was her sister. So I completely forgot about it. But on Friday I called my wife on my lunch break and she was out of breath. Like she was in the middle of working out. And that's what she told me. But during the call I heard like some kind of slapping noises. I thought maybe she was working out during our call. We have a mini gym at our house so it's not unusual. But in the evening I met up with a buddy of mine for a beer and complained about our sex life. I also told him about that strange call and he said, "Bro, some guy was pounding your wife when you called." And after thinking about it, makes perfect sense. But I don't know if I'm just paranoid or if there's something to it. I also don't know how to prove it if she is. Which I doubt she is, but I can't get these thoughts out of my head. Before someone suggests a camera, we have one in our drive, but I didn't save it when my coworker called about the M3, so I can't verify who it was. But I checked the recording for when I called her and there wasn't a car parked in our drive. Just her car. Update. The M3 wasn't her sister's. I messaged her sister asking if she was driving an M3 then, and she wasn't. She had an X5 on loan from the dealership. So I know my wife lied about who she was with. You think she took your call while having sex with someone else and didn't even stop? Is she that psycho? That seems really unlikely. Edit. I'm getting a lot of feedback that this is common, apparently? Oh well. Does her sister have a green M3? Surely this should be easy to check. You need to get yourself a camera in the house, otherwise you will drive yourself mad. At the moment you know nothing for definite and you need answers. A car can be parked down the street, so you need a camera in the house. Could you explain why you've said you have a remote house, yet your coworker just happened to see this M3 in your drive? What was your coworker doing at your remote house about a month ago? Sounds like you need to use some vacation time and go home at lunchtime. I messaged her sister asking if she was driving an M3 then, and she wasn't. She had an X5 on loan from the dealership. So I know my wife lied about who she was with. Unless your coworker doesn't know the difference between an M3 and X5. Did you happen to ask if she was over that particular day? Sit down with her and let her know you're worried about this. Lay it all out, and let her know honestly that you're concerned about it. Either she confesses, or reassures you that that's not the case. Maybe it can lead to a conversation about why your sex life is going downhill as well. If she is cheating and lies to you about it when you talk to her, hopefully, you find out quickly. Trust is super important in a relationship, and the way to ensure that is to talk with your partner. It does sound like she could be having an affair, but you won't know unless you talk with her or do snooping. Personally, I'd start with talking first. Snooping implies trust is already broken. I thought this might be a real post until I read this. But on Friday I called my wife on my lunch break and she was out of breath. Like she was in the middle of working out. And that's what she told me. But during the call I heard like some kind of slapping noises. I thought maybe she was working out during our call. This is pure trollage. You need to gather evidence before you do anything else. You mentioned a camera outside your house. My guess your wife knows that also. Does your camera system record? Do your neighbors have cameras outside their houses? You could also get cameras for inside your house. Hide. Do not confront her. Gather evidence before you contact an attorney. How to tell cohabitating girlfriend I won't let her live with me in the new house next month. Me. M. 29. GF. F. 27. Too long did not read. I started building a house in July. My girlfriend is under the impression it's our house. She lives with me currently. I close in the end of April, and she's packing up her things in anticipation of living with me. I will sooner die than let her leech off me again. I'm open to staying in a relationship, for now. How do I shatter her world and inform her I'm keeping the dog that's legally mine? The house that's only in my name, only paid for and financed by me, is mine, and she has to live with her parents? How do I have the convo? What exactly do I say? And how do I not cave into her mental breakdowns and her getting sick? The guilt gets me every time. Hey all. Planned on leaving my girlfriend since August. Tried breaking up 3 times but her panic attacks, projectile vomiting, and me being overwhelmed with guilt stopped me. She moved in with me 2 months into dating back in 2019 against my wishes. She knew I was head over heels and said, "I don't see a point of us being together if we can't live together." I was so crazy about her I ignored the 47 red flags. Upon moving in she quit her job, so then she couldn't help with bills as promised. 5 months later she got a job and helped with some of the rent. In May 2021 she convinced me to move across the country with her family. She lined up a job ahead of time, thought, this time would be different, we moved down here and after 3 days she quits. Refused to work. I helped her, more like did it for her, to apply for unemployment. She got $600 a week. She helped with bills then from June end of August. In August she had a mental breakdown. Well, she was having one every single day and I begged her for a year to get to a therapist and meds. She convinced me to get a puppy and begged me saying it would cure her. I buy the pup, and the stress of him pushed her over the edge. She stayed with her mom from August till beginning of October. During that time she actually got help, therapy, antidepressants, and was doing much better. During this time alone I felt significant other-free. I loved my life, no longer a caretaker, fell in love with the pup I trained and raised alone, and then out of nowhere, unannounced, my girlfriend just shows up. She said she's all better and ready to live back at her house. Since then, she got unemployment until December. She spent all of her money on clothes. She couldn't help with bills since September because of this. She refuses to work. She keeps saying she'll get a job once we move into our new home, because it's 40 minutes away and no point in getting one here if she's moving. She would likely work retail, so it's a BS excuse. She is so expensive to take care of. I spend more than I make a month. $500-ish on restaurants, not to mention groceries. God, I'm struggling so bad. I finally had a sit-down last night, told her I can't afford her anymore. She said she's okay with that and we can live more frugal. I don't buy it for a second, but I will not let her leech off me in the new home. She's already packing things for the move. I was waiting till the last second to tell her since she flips out and goes insane every time I tried to break up in the past. She now loves my dog and will be devastated that she can only visit him and not live with him. No way in hell I'd do shared custody. I am concerned about my pup cause he does really love her too. He loves me more, cuddles with me at night instead of her in bed etc. But I worry about him. 99% chance I dump her once she's gone, but I can't do it face to face, it's too hard. But I'll tell her I'm open to dating still from a distance just to see if she'll change. Likely won't, but open to trying. How do I do this? Time is ticking down and I can't sleep anticipating the chat. This isn't a chat. This is a statement. There is no discussion or negotiation. Also, your relationship is changing to a business one immediately. Girlfriend, I have thought it over and you and I have vastly different life plans and values. I am not willing to try and make this work anymore. Please take this time to ensure you have other living arrangements by X date as you are not welcome in my new home. Be cautious about her avenues of retaliation if you think that's in her nature. Especially if your name is on the lease or this is one of your current properties and needs to be in a certain condition for the new owners. You may need to be prepared to evict her. Don't string her along. Let her go her own way and you go your own way as soon as possible. Are you still having sex with her? What did I just read? This girl is not mentally stable to be in a relationship and you need to stop leading her on. You need to tell her you are done, make a clean break, no dating, no hooking up. Tell her, and if you have to move out and stay with a friend until your house is ready, do so. Put it in text that you are through and you don't want to see her again and then block her on everything. If she shows up at your house, don't answer and call the police to remove her. Be prepared to get a restraining order. You don't save anything. You tell her plainly, this is not working, I am moving, without you, and you and I are over. Then you move, block her and hopefully won't need a restraining order. Do not let her visit the dog, do not keep open communication. End it completely. Break up with her already. How toxic does the relationship have to be? You don't seem like a chump, but that many red flags is a sign. Just did this myself. Like tonight. I sold my house that my boyfriend lived in with me for over a year. We've been in an apartment for 4 months while the house I bought is being built. We fought weekly about his spending and failure to save money. I begged, screamed, cried, and he would promise me that he would change but never did. I finally reached a breaking point when he bought a PS5 on credit even though I begged him not to because he had no money. But he did it anyway. It caused me so much anxiety for weeks and he did. It even care. When I asked him to leave my apartment he claimed to be blindsided. There is no way he could have been blindsided. Especially since it was the recurring theme of every fight. I couldn't imagine allowing him to run my finances in the ground. No bullshit promises. No dating, no visiting, no stopping by and coming in. Flat out be done. Block, change all passwords. She's gonna crop up again and again. Be firm. Have your dog somewhere safe before you break up with her. She will try to leverage the dog in some unsafe way. M38, my sister, F37, is teaching my niece, F14, disturbing things. I usually stay out of other people's parenting business, but since this one involves my sister, my brother-in-law who is also my best friend, and my niece, and what she's telling her is really concerning, I just thought I have reasonable grounds to meddle. What my sister Joanne did when she and Cliff got together was almost sabotage. She told other girls that he's gay. Though she didn't have a chance to lie to or didn't believe her, she'd beat up. As an older brother, it is my biggest shame that I wasn't able to stop her from bullying others. Eventually, they all got the message and stayed off Cliff, and they got together. When she wanted to sleep with him, he was reluctant, with religious upbringing, so she slipped something in his drink. The problem I'm facing right now is she's bragging, telling her daughter about all of this. She told my niece that if she wanted to go out with a guy, she had to be ruthless and deal with competitors. My sister said that she shouldn't be afraid to rough some idiots up, and just take what you want. It worries me a lot that this would result in a massive fiasco and I don't know what I can do about it. Dude. Your sister raped Chris and is telling her daughter that that's okay? Absolutely not. It sounds like Cliff is a victim of your sister's abuse. Does he need help getting out of that situation? He should take his daughter and leave. Does he have family he can stay with? Your sister raped her husband to force him into a relationship. How is she not disowned? Your sister is probably a sociopath. So, your sister is an abusive rapist and trying to turn your niece AL significant other into an abusive rapist? Sounds like you have plenty of grounds to meddle. If Cliff doesn't want to leave, you should urge him in no uncertain terms to get your niece out of that situation. Hell, tell the whole family about your sister's thing and see how many people jump to your niece's rescue. She should be locked up, but she definitely shouldn't be allowed to be a parent. OMG, get your niece away from her pleading face. This is the worst fake story I've ever read. You should encourage Cliff to talk to his daughter about how his wife's actions affected him. It's embarrassing for him, but understanding the victim's perspective and the fallout of her mother's abusive behavior will help your niece understand why her mother's advice isn't good. Honestly though, he is probably still being abused by her and won't feel safe contradicting her. I think it's important for your niece to hear more reasonable perspectives that value respect and consent over manipulation and abuse. Confronting your sister won't do any good and may jeopardize her family's peace and safety. I would try and talk to her outside of her home and away from her mother. This sounds like bullshit. Signs of a relationship that leads to death. Eventually. Please and thank you. The fact that you posted this. Time to go. He joked 3 times about murder-suicide. There's other issues I won't go into. Never hit me, but has threatens to. LEA versus E. This comment SND you even asking to begin with? Get out and away as WUICKLY as possible. Change social media handles, change passwords, change your phone number. Move in or somewhere they don't know. Please leave before it's too late. Even if they're harmless jokes right now to you, no sane rational person in a good relationship says shit like that. EVER. He joked 3 times about murder-suicide. There's other issues I won't go into. Never hit me, but has threatens to. There are your signs. As soon as they threaten or just casually say I might kill us both, believe them. Girl, you need to contact your local domestic abuse shelter and escape this situation. Based on your other comments, this man sounds dangerous. My past ex would tell me how he would kill me, and would laugh at me anytime I'd cry, or told him he scared me. And make a long story short, I've had to change my number, get a restraining order, and even still to this day, it's been 3 years, he still finds a way to harass me and stalk me. Get out. The jokes, the threats, that should be enough, it's not safe. Get out while you can. I am sorry, and ill pray and hope you are safe. Make a plan, be sneaky as hell about it. Disappear and get a lawyer. Bruh. We need more details. Spill it out.